find out, unless and until you find out who you truly are, there is no permanent happiness, no permanent joy, no permanent health in your body. Verse 3. Then when the cessation of citta vrittis, the modifications of mind at its very core level, is achieved, the jivatma or individual soul is at its original state as the witness. He is connecting now that state where citta or your mind seats, when you can control, is under control, then your true self is seen. Right now we are not looking at our true self. We are governed by our mind and our mind, unfortunately, is made by our society, our education system. Our mind is not our mind. We have been formed, and I've been telling you all, you are all very lucky that you are born in the West. Most of you are born in the West. Here, in the Asian countries, when you are born, you are immediately stamped. You belong to so and so religion. And almost for the rest of your life, you cannot come out of that stamp. And there are so many stamps. In the East, there are quite a few extra stamps that we get, but in the West also you have certain stamps. All those conditionings, your parents want you to grow to become like this, your society wants you to become like this, you have fixed definitions of a successful person. If you want to be a successful person, what is the definition of successful person? You have a good job, you have a good partner, you have this, you have that. All these are definitions that we are made to believe in. And we pass this on to our children, to the next generation, one after the other. We keep giving the same definition, generation after generation, until it becomes a belief system. How do we define the word growth? How do we define the matrices in the economy? GDP and this and that. Now GDP means nothing. If you have studied economy, after some time you realize GDP means nothing. The economy of a country could be wonderful, booming, but you have to find out who are the people enjoying this economy. How many percent? 2 or 3% of the world's population is controlling all the wealth. So is this success? Is this success? No. And then you change the system. Okay, we don't need capitalism. We need communism. And after some time, the communist leaders, they become capitalist. There is no change. We are stuck with a system. You can change the brands, you can change the names, but we are stuck with the system. We are so stuck that we cannot come out from the system. Patanjali says you can come out from the system. But you can come out from the system only when you know who you are. You have empowered yourself. You know who you are. And you cannot know who you are unless and until you go beyond the citta, beyond the seeds of consciousness. Because the seeds of consciousness are showing you a different picture altogether. You go beyond and find out who you are. And then only He will be leading us point by point, one code after the other. By the way, Sutra also means formulas. So one after the other, formulas will lead us to the right understanding of how to find out who am I. Are we here by accident? Our parents, they made love by accident, and we are born by accident and will die by accident, or there is a bigger picture. Is there a reason, a purpose? Number 4, verse number 4. Otherwise, when the citta or the mind is not restrained at its core, whenever he's using the word citta, it's about the seed, the mind seed at the core. Otherwise, when the citta or the mind is not yet restrained at its core, the jivatma or individual soul identifies itself with all the modifications happening to the citta, the mind core or the mind seed. Right now we are identifying ourselves with the changes happening. The changes happening to this mind core makes us feel happy. Are we really happy? No. But we are made to feel happy for some time. And then something happens, we are sad. We are all sitting here, God forbid. But we are okay. We are okay. We are okay. All of a sudden, someone comes, hey, you have got an email. And it says, one of your beloved, dear ones, is dead. From happiness to sadness, it does not take time. So why you are happy? Because you are not aware of this sad news coming into your life right now. So our happiness and sadness, grief, sorrow and happiness, joys, all are momentary, all are hallucinations. There is a saying in English, ignorance is bliss. I am ignorant of impending grief. I don't know what is going to happen, the grief that is coming. Because I am ignorant, I am happy. Is that happiness? Just because I am ignorant, I don't know about something that can make me sorrowful, so I am happy. Just because you are not feeling sick, so you are happy. But there are people who are unaware, who are very insensitive towards what is happening to their body. The body is already rotting away. The body is already giving up. We have been stuffing our body with wrong food, with wrong lifestyle, a lot of wrong things. The body is already giving up, but we don't realize it. And so we feel okay. And then finally the body cannot take it up, and you go to doctor, and the doctor tells you, well, my friend, you are too late. You should have come here 1 year ago. This is what is happening to us. Because of our insensitivity towards impending thing, so we feel we are happy, we feel we are healthy. Patanjali is telling us to go to the mind's core. There you find out whether you are really happy or there is something else. Just the absence of sorrow, the absence of sickness does not mean you are healthy. The absence of sorrow does not mean that you are happy. Find out. Unless and until you find out who you truly are, there is no permanent happiness, no permanent joy, no permanent health in your body, with yourself. Sloka number 5. There are 5 different types of chitta vrittis or modifications at the mind seed or mind core level, either causing affliction or not. He is using a very negative word. Why is using negative word? But because the whole idea depends upon one assumption. It's very scientific. You ask Stephen Hawking, he will tell you that all scientific formulas are originally based upon assumptions. those assumptions, they work on that to prove. And so Stephen Hawking, until the last breath, he did not move an inch from his idea of Big Bang theory. When somebody confronted him that a lot of modern physicists, they don't believe, they don't buy your theory anymore. Right now, the new physics says this universe is endless and therefore it must be beginningless. And Stephen Hawking was saying, no, this universe started with Big Bang. We are still expanding, and then it will come a time when we stop expanding and then we start shrinking. This is Stephen Hawking. Modern physicists say, no, you are wrong. There is no end, no beginning, because as we are discussing this chapter right now, there are universes forming. There are Big Bangs happening in the universe. And this goes on happening. And when confronted with such a question, Stephen Hawking says, okay, fine. Those scientists are based on assumption. I am based on assumption also. And he was too great so that he could admit that all scientific adventures, all scientific formulas are based upon certain assumptions. He's right. So the assumption behind this is that if we are born, this body is like a tumor to the mind. A mind that is restless, a mind that is not at peace at the time of death, it creates a body for itself. It finds a body for itself. So at the time of my previous death, there should be some impressions, there should be some obsessions which made me take up this body, which made you take up this body. So this body shows that I am sick, not physically sick, but mentally. Because of a sickness, this body is created by the mind. This body is taken up. This is the assumption. And based on this assumption, he is saying there are 5 different types of citta vrittis or modifications at the mind seed or mind core level, either causing affliction or not. There are people who are born, the tumor is there. We don't have the phrase good tumor or bad tumor. But there are tumors which are not causing affliction, which are not causing pain. And there are tumors which are causing pain. There are tumors which are not making things worse. There are tumors which are making things worse. But both are tumors. So Patanjali is saying there are tumors which are causing you affliction, causing you pain, great pain. And there are tumors which you have brought it, okay, but it's not going to be growing, it's not going to grow, and you can live with it. There are people, all of us, we carry cancerous cells, and not all of us are dying of cancer. So there are cancers, there are people who are affected, they die, and there are people carrying cancer cells and dying a natural death. So in both cases, tumor is there, but there are tumors causing you affliction, some are not causing you, and he says that there are 5 different types. So he is very scientific. He wants to find out, and he takes us to finding out together. What is this? What is causing this seed? Why the seeds are sprouting? First question is about self. What is making you happy now? how do you define the word I'm happy? How do you define this phrase that you're happy? How would you define this?
How do you find the happiness?
No, not find happiness. I'm happy. Suppose you are saying I'm happy. Why would you say that you're happy?
Why? Usually I'm happy when I'm not affected by anything.
Exactly.
Freedom.
You're not affected by not anything,
Yeah.
but you're not affected by something which you define as unhappy.
Okay.
You're not affected by something. I can be very happy when I have a glass of chocolate. Is that happiness?
No, I have stomachache, so I don't.
No, okay, fine. Anything else? Anything else? So your definition of happiness is I'm happy when something that does not make me happy is not affecting me at this moment.
Yeah.
If it is affecting you at this moment, then you become unhappy. So who are you who can be happy at one moment and can be unhappy at another moment?
Yeah, that's the mind.
That's what Patanjali is saying. So that means you're not yourself. You're affected by certain conditions. If those conditions which you defined as not conducive to your happiness, if those conditions are around you, you feel unhappy. And then the conditions that you defined, you identify with happiness. If those conditions are there, you feel happy. So you are being governed by the outside conditions. And these outside conditions are affecting your mind. And your mind tells you are happy. Your mind tells you you're not happy. I always give an example. If somebody is abusing you, is talking ill about you, as long as you do not hear those talks, you're happy. You'll be meeting the same person. Hello, how are you? But the moment you know that this person has been talking ill about me, then you have a different view. How hypocrite is this man? When he sees me, he is hello, nice, goody, goody. But behind my back, he is stabbing me. So you are affected. You are affected by all these conditions. And as long as you are affected, Patanjali says, you cannot know yourself. Who you actually are, you cannot know because all these conditions are affecting you. You are covered by these conditions.
Okay, so basically, I will not know myself if I still identify myself with the outside factors.
True.
Affecting me.
Or with not the outside, because outside factors still has some substance, or you're being governed by your own imagination.
Mm-hmm. Again, so as long as I identify myself as things that are affecting me, then I don't know myself.
Don't know yourself.
So
that's what Patanjali says, not me.
Okay.
Don't sue me.
So then how do I know myself?
That's what we are trying to study now.
Okay. And so that's
he says he has given the idea already. He has given a very basic, in a very, very short, beautifully he has put it that it is life governed by certain discipline. Now to govern your life, to have certain discipline, he is trying to imply that you must know yourself so that you can allow this discipline to govern your life. Discipline is not conditioning. You want to discipline yourself. Nobody has told you that it is good habit to wake up at 4 o'clock. Or you may have read. Or you may not have read. But you understand, okay, it's a good habit. So let me follow this discipline. Let me wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So again, basically, if I identify myself as I love music, I'm happy when I do when I sing or something like that. And then I'm sad when people talk ill about me, suppose, yeah. And then I'm not happy when I cannot do the things that I want to do, but I'm happy when I do this and that. So that means it's not me, actually.
Not you. Because suppose you say that music makes you happy, you minus music from your life, you become very unhappy. Right? So, you are governed by music. But the fact is, when you were born, you didn't carry a keyboard with you. You didn't start singing when you were born. All these are added upon you. You started to learn music, you bring back the memory from your past life, and you become a good learner, and that's smriti. Memory from past life, then you start looking for right conditions where you can learn music, you can do things, but when you minus all those things, you are unhappy. So your happiness depends upon these external things. Yes, we are talking about something that is Patanjali will be speaking about that. Buddhi only, when only you are in buddhi, that is the transformation of mind actually in my opinion. When you are in buddhi, you can know what are your obsessions, what are your impressions, vasana and samskar, which have brought you to this life. So at least you understand the meaning of this life. And then you understand also that I have gone through this kind of homework over and over, again and again. Let me do something else. So, in my opinion, buddhi is not the full stop, but it is a very important stage where you find out that all these repetitions have not made me happy. All these repetitions are only creating samsara. Repetitive life, repetitive birth, repetitive death. And so let me find out what's the next season. We are stuck with the first season of the show. We are not moving on. We are just the first season. Every time we are repeating over and over the same experience. Yes, buddhi can help.